Thanks very much. Thanks everyone for coming. It must be Showdown week, so I appreciate your attendance today, and thank you to Rory and Tom for coming along today for the reveal of the Shield. But before I do that, I just want to explain the unique relationship that Variety has with the Port Adelaide and the Adelaide Football Clubs. The partnership was created in 2018, and as a first of its kind in South Australia, and to directly support the community and to support the community arms of each footy club. This year, we agreed to another 3-year deal, which commits both the POWER Community Youth Program and the Adelaide Crows to a total value of $600,000. It's a very significant number, $600,000 for Variety, and that's over 3 years. This partnership brings the two AFL clubs together to benefit the community. Last year, Variety assisted about 25,000 children in South Australia, and we granted just around $2.5 million in grants to kids in need in South Australia. Now, this investment will see Variety extend its reach in the community to assist even more kids through Port Adelaide and the Adelaide Football Clubs. We're proud to say that thousands of children have benefited from the community-based program in the last 3 years. We've been absolutely delighted with the commitment of Port Adelaide and the Adelaide Football Clubs over the last 3 years, and we were very, very happy to extend that program for another 3 years. It helps kids be the best they can be, and that's what Variety does. Kids will benefit through the Adelaide Crows Foundation, and they'll benefit through the POWER Community Program, and the POWER Community Program gets kids from Cat 1 disadvantaged schools, which will promote messages around science, technology, English, maths, and a healthy lifestyle. And I understand the Crows are talking more about their foundation tomorrow. In these years of COVID disruption, this is something that everyone in South Australia should be really proud of. It's a great positive news story. This is a message that is bigger than football, and we are proud of the two football clubs for committing to this initiative. Now to the Showdown Shield. The Showdown Shield shows the values of Variety. It shows Variety's values to the community of joy, action, equality, and community. It shows the iconic image of the Bond brothers, Shane and Troy, when even in the heat of battle epitomises our core values. It's a new contemporary design that represents the new partnership between Variety and the two football clubs. So here it is.
Jeez, that made it easy for me.
Fantastic looking shield. As I said, contemporary in its design. Thank you. Hand over to the players. Well done. Thanks, Rory. Thank you.
Other questions for Brenton? Otherwise, yeah, straight to the boys. So,
Okay.
maybe we'll start with Tom, perhaps, and move to Rory after that.
Tom, it's Showdown, which demands a lot of Port Adelaide, perhaps even more this time after what happened in Brisbane. So, what have you guys worked through after Brisbane?
I think it was another lesson in the contest. We obviously got one a few weeks ago and bounced back from that, so we'll be looking to do the same. But regardless of the result on the weekend, Showdown is a unique beast, and it requires you to be, at the top of your game, and you always want to be. So we'll be out there ready to crack in and hopefully play some really strong contested footy.
You've been left with some tags after Brisbane and the flat track boys and so forth. How do they sit?
Yeah, look, they never sit well, but I think if you look at our body of work, we've played some consistent footy for a long time. We're 2-2 on the road, so certainly not a disaster. I think it's just really important that we review that game and look at where we can improve and make sure that moving forward we're ready to take on the opposition, whether it's home and away, when they bring a certain style of footy.
When it happens 4 times to Brisbane, does that mean there's a common link that you haven't worked out yet?
Yeah, there's a pattern there, and it's certainly something we're going to look to rectify. Hopefully we get an opportunity either later in the year or it's something we'll revisit next year before we play them.
Is it just a guarantee because it's a showdown that you find something extra in yourselves, or is that taking it too easy to suggest that's just going to happen?
Yeah, I think if you look at the results of the past, there's no guarantees both in showdowns or footy, but there's certainly a little bit extra on the line every time you run out on Adelaide Oval against the Crows. So it shouldn't be an issue to find any motivation for the weekend.
Does it need to shake up the selection?
Oh, look, that's out of my hands, as Kenny and his men will take care of that. But there certainly were some strong performances at SANFL level and blokes that have put their hands up. So I'm sure he'll make the right call and we'll get the right mixture of players for the weekend.
Seen you in the past a few times this year able to stop the players on the field or speak to the rooms after the game. Captains expect you to do anything like that?
No, there was none of that. We still reviewed the game as per normal, but it was an opportunity for me to pull them up and have something to say. I think those things don't need to become a regular occurrence. There's opportunities at some stages during the year, but it doesn't have to happen every week.
It's a good stage to have this showdown for you, Tommy. Like, given you the losses for both clubs, it's you get yourself up for the contest, you can bounce back pretty organically. Is it perfectly timed, do you feel?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Both teams coming off a significant loss and always playing your biggest arch rival in front of a packed house, home crowd. It's going to be massive, so can't wait to get back out there. I wish there was a shorter turnaround so we could play sooner.
Is there a bit of a point to prove at all? I mean, it probably helps that you can do it on the stage in front of your home fans here, doesn't it?
There's always a point to prove, whether you haven't won one or you're undefeated. Whenever you're playing against the crosstown rivals, you want to make sure that you come away with a win.
And the jumper was obviously front of mind for many for weeks. Is there just how do you sum up being not given permission to wear it on Saturday night?
Oh, look, I think it's probably last week's news a little bit. We'll leave it to the higher powers to determine that. We'll have the Maggies run around in the game before wearing the prison bar, so that'll be great.
Tom, do you just measure Charlie Dixon by the number of goals he kicks? Is that down now to the point whereby you'd be concerned about his form?
Absolutely not. Charlie certainly isn't measured by the amount of goals he's kicked. His role in the team is much more significant than that. He's a leader of the forward line. It's about providing a contest and bringing the ball to ground, and that's what he's measured by. It's the same as measuring my game by the amount of kicks I have, and it certainly isn't measured by that.
Travis certain to return.
Pardon?
Travis certain to return.
I think Travis is pretty confident. He trained today, but I can't give you full clarity around that one. Yeah, he seemed to be moving pretty well. He was confident when I spoke to him. We'll just have to get through a session on Thursday.
Making a contest and bringing the ball around just back on Charlie for his layman's terms. Describe what that does and how that sort of helps a football team.
Yeah, we've obviously got a pretty dangerous small forward line, and by bringing the ball to the front, gives them much opportunity to get involved in the game, and it also puts the opposition under pressure and gives us an opportunity to set up our defence.
That's because Charlie feels that his emotional being. I'm sure he talks to you about.
Yeah, I think he's been playing his role most weeks, and we all have down days, but we got full confidence in Chaz that he'll bounce back. And I think the biggest thing in Charlie's game in the last couple of years is that he comes out of himself and he's looking after the boys around him. So he's been a great leader in our group and in that forward line.
No Birdo at training today. Is he all right?
Yeah, I think Birdo will be all right.
Tej, is your message different to the players before a showdown as opposed to any other normal?
Not really. I think when you go through, what it takes to win a showdown, it's generally contested footy, and obviously there's some more specific messaging about the way the Crows play, but for the most part we know it's going to be a fierce contest.
So how much is then dictated by your method and your execution, or pure emotion?
Oh, there's a certain level of emotion, but you can't get completely drawn into that. You've got to maintain some sort of structure and play the way we've been playing for near on 18 months now.
Can you read much into the pre-season games against these boys?
I wouldn't have thought. I think the Crows have shown that they're a completely different side, and we're expecting a bloody tough contest. They've played some really strong footy this year and been probably unlucky on a couple of occasions, so it's going to be a big task.
Yeah, Rory had one more week off.
I think he just declared himself fit, so it'd be good to see him out there, and hopefully I get near him at some stage tomorrow. But he's been running for 4 weeks, so he should be pretty fit. We actually haven't got to that point so far. I think if you look over the course of the year, there hasn't been a whole lot of specific matchups. We've been sharing them around. So whether we go that way or we look to combat Texas, is in some pretty good form. I'm not sure.
Do you think he gets a bit more of a run in your pre-game planning and your line of race form than he's in?
I think he always gets a fair bit of respect. Tex has been a good player for a long time, and he's in a rich vein of form at the moment. So he'll certainly be one that we have a little bit of focus on. But at the same time, there's plenty of other threats in their forward line.
Tommy, what will it mean for the first time in what feels like an eternity to hear 50,000 people sing there to tear us apart?
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty spine-tingling stuff. It's usually, when we have 20,000 in or 35,000 in, it's already pretty incredible. So to have a full house would be quite phenomenal. I know Jake Kelly is pretty happy with it yesterday and in the press conference. So I think, Sloane might enjoy it as well.
What do you think of the shield? Do you like
Yeah,
the
I love it. I think great sense of community, and it talks to what the game's about. It's more than just going out there and beating each other up. At the end of the day, it's about connection and mateship and bringing the community together.
A good guy? All right.
All right. So Rory, are you ready to go? Have you been all clear?
So check up with the specialist tomorrow. That'll be the final hurdle, I suppose, I need to jump. But from a physical point of view, I feel fine. Can I bribe him? No, mate. If I've learnt anything over the years, is your eyes are extremely important. So I will definitely be listening to the specialist. If there's any risk whatsoever, I wouldn't play, absolutely. But if he declares me fit and fine, then which hopefully he does, then I'll be right to go.
Would you be physically ready for a showdown essentially?
Hasn't been too long. It's only been 4 weeks. 4 weeks till tomorrow. And as Tom just mentioned before, still been able to do a fair bit of running and stuff. So it's what we do pre-seasons for Michelangelo.
How does it feel with the eye? Like, what's you just described to us the last couple of weeks when it was at its worst and now it's nearing being at its best days?
No, so after the procedure, there's a bit of blurriness and obviously your vision's affected. But then, as the weeks have continued, the sight gets back to pretty much 20/20 vision again. So, feels very normal, I suppose. All the damage was internal, and that got fixed pretty quickly. So I was really lucky. I got onto it so quickly, and I think having a little tear in the retina before helped me pick up that I had something wrong with this one.
Someone said that in those early stages you couldn't go and see anyone, you couldn't look at screens. Tell us about that little bit of time.
The first week was, the way the procedure works, I won't go into too much detail, but I'm a specialist now in, I don't know what you call it, eyeballs. But the way the procedure works is I just lie on a certain angle or my side for basically 7 days. So I think that affected Belinda more so than me. She had to look after 3 boys for a week, which was a little tough on her. All I did was get up to eat and go to the toilet and back to lie down again. So it was an interesting week, that one.
How scary though is it when you're talking about things like eyesight, which is so permanent, if it goes wrong? Is it unsettling for you?
It could have been a whole lot worse, but I think, as I mentioned before, I previously had a tear in the retina and this one was a detachment. But knowing the recovery already and knowing the signs and symptoms, it was lucky I got onto it so quickly. And eyesight is forever and football's the now, I suppose. So I was always going to be really diligent with this recovery.
Who makes the final call, Rory? You or the doctor?
No, the doctor, always, absolutely. He's the specialist in this area.
So he'll say you're either good or you're not, or is there a percentage that you have to, if you're 90%, can you play, or he'll just say no?
I suppose he'll take a good look inside and he'll just determine whether it's healed enough and whether it's strong enough, and I'll completely listen to him.
So if he says it's your call, would you say I'm playing?
I'll ask him what's your call probably, but no, I'll take his advice, and then as I said, I've done the work, so I'll be fit enough. Yeah, you always want to play football, and you always want to help out your team, whether they're winning or losing. And Look, I've been really proud of the way the boys have stepped up, especially that midfield group. I mean, aside from the weekend, I think we let ourselves down in that area, but we've been really solid in there, and we've seen guys like Lairdy, Sammy Berry, Keezy's having an outstanding year. Harry Schoenberg's really stepped up in that area too. So I've been really proud of how these boys have handled probably a bit more inexperienced midfield, and yeah, it's exciting. Hopefully I can get back in there and help them out.
Rory, what's the feeling like when you got to come to your eye? Has it been pretty positive in that? Does it look like at this stage you'll play? In terms of the positivity you're getting from your doctor?
The positivity I'm getting from him. Well, last check-up he was really happy with it. I'm back to 20/20 vision, so I guess that's a positive sign. Yeah.
Talk about the inexperience for some of those players that we have first showdown with some of those boys. What do you say to those guys and what to expect when you talk about looking at full house and Port Adelaide?
Well, I think it's important. I mean, I remember early certainly embracing just the environment around the whole of South Australia and Adelaide in particular. Showdown weeks are unique because it's your cross-town rival, and it's something the whole state embraces. So that'll certainly be the message to these guys. Embrace it. Listen to guys. Hear stories. I think that's important too. They learn from either players or people from the past. And then, yeah, I mean, Tommy mentioned it earlier. Once we cross that white line, it's game on. And yeah, I've certainly learned it is absolutely a contested game, and it's that finals-like atmosphere, which is what we like.
Do you talk to the
The
boys?
big gap between Port and the Crows in the pre-season games. How have you narrowed it? How do you think you've come closer to Port?
Well, it was really the perfect games for us in the pre-season. We got a couple of really good lessons that we were able to take out of and then improve on, especially a couple of things around our defensive structure. So they were great lessons for us, but I mean, really, we had some really good lessons again on the weekend. Disappointing loss to a good side in GWS. So yeah, it'll be about how we respond.
Or just you say about how they're like finals type games, and the young guys like Josh said about play. Is it a matter of training at a higher intensity level, or does it do any value for Sam Berry to hear you say this is a notch faster than what it already is?
No, look, I mean, the way we reviewed the game on the weekend, there's certain lessons we'll take out that will apply really well to this game. So, I mean, being clean under pressure is definitely one of them. The contested ball side of the game, that's huge, and our pressure on opposition, that's certainly one as well.
What about the emotional side of things? We had Tom speak about how it gets players going for you and for your young lot too.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and that's why the message will be embrace a showdown and hear stories from the past, because there's certainly, over the years, there's been a lot of emotion in showdowns.
How much does losing one like last year sting, and then how much does that motivate you going into this year?
It doesn't play in my mind so much. I think it's more about how we're going now and the type of footy we're playing now, and I feel like we're a very different side. Luke Brown had a little run around today. I think he will, as long as he gets through training Thursday. Obviously, he's a very important player for us, so we'll wait and assess after Thursday. Lynchy is a bit sore still. I think he'll have another week off.
Just lastly, they've moved the Freo Brisbane game to the Gabba, and then West Coast obviously technically going there next week. Would you be, as a club, prepared to switch that fixture around if need be next week?
Oh, look, I mean, we learnt last year that we had to be very flexible with our fixture, and I think that's something we'll just continue to do for the whole season. I'm sure this won't be the first and last time a team probably has to relocate or change their schedule. So, I mean, as a whole footy industry, we've got to be flexible, don't we?
Do you like the new shield?
I do. I love it. And variety support's been incredible for both teams and for South Australian people and kids for so long. So, yeah, what an incredible job they've done with the Shield, but an even more incredible job they've done to continue to support us.
Do you think you can beat Port on Saturday night?
Absolutely. I think we can win any game of football. That's the attitude we go in with, and whether that happens or not, but we'll certainly leave everything out there this Saturday night.